think it's on. All right. It is on. Hello, everybody. All right. Brian's with me. Mike hopefully will be here with us soon. We don't know. We have no idea. Let's just start with the something we've been talking about all year. Brian, we know you want to bang Zach Wilson, but now that he actually played a good game, do you want to bang him more? I guess is that we're going to open with that question today.
No, still the same amount.
So the exact same.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm also just kind of tired of talking about him too because
I can see that.
well, he had a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
So obviously, but it just feels like too little, too late. And it's just like I feel like every time he's like in his early 20s, and I feel like every time I see like commentators talking about him, I feel like it's like their dads like. It's just like I watch dads beating up on their son. That's how I feel like whenever I listen to commentators talk. Because I'm watching these old men being like, he's not playing right, okay? All right. It just feels like a drunk Randy Marsh screaming at his kid from the bleachers. So that's what that's what it feels like. So
yeah, we're not going to Red Lobster after this game. Because you suck today.
I'm kind of tired of talking about Zach Wilson. Right now. I mean, like he had a great game. Good for him. You know, I mean, still a little too late. We'll see how like the next few games go. I'm going to the Commanders game with my brother Christmas Eve, so that should be quite the shit show.
Did you get seats that were close enough to the field that Zach can hear you when you tell him that he's hot and that he sucks at football?
Where I could catcall him?
Yes.
Or yes, actually, I did. So I'll be able to catcall Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers from the stands. Yeah, so definitely. But yeah, it's going to be also a terrible game too.
At this point, I would say the Jets will probably win that one though, just because I feel like everyone, even the Giants, beats the Commanders. We're not talking about the Giants though. I swore it off weeks ago. Mike, for some reason, still wants to talk about when we were at full disclosure for those of all 6 people listed at the show. We were doing the outline for the show, like, oh, what do you want to talk about this week? And Mike again was like, hey, can we talk about Tommy DeVito signing autographs at like a truck stop in Jersey? And I'm like, dude. We've talked about Tommy fucking DeVito on the show for like 3 weeks in a row. Like Brian, how is it that Brian is the gay one on the show, yet Mike is like all he wants to talk about is how into this dude he is?
Like, Mike is super gay for Tommy DeVito.
It's true.
Yes. And also too, I just saw the Giants are beating Green Bay Packers too right now. So like that's, I mean, I know we're not supposed to talk about them, but that's kind of like. It piques my interest. I mean, the Packers aren't amazing this year, but like they're definitely better than the Giants. So
I didn't even put the game on. Wasn't even checking it. Yeah, as of right now, they're winning by 4. Okay, all right. I mean, I swore them off. I didn't want them to hurt me anymore.
So okay, and then two other things I briefly wanted. Well, I know you wanted to talk about Juan Soto, and then everyone's talking about ohtani.
Well, we'll get into that later. We'll get to that later. So yeah, as far as the Jets go, I wanted to actually piggyback off of something you just said a second ago, which was that like it's too little, too late, and it's one of those things where I feel like if he would have put up a game this good a month and a half ago, it would have been a lot more exciting.
It would have been, and they probably wouldn't have put in. Looking back on it, it was probably the best decision to have him play because they wanted to have Zach. Well, not Zach Boyle. What the fuck am I talking about? The third string quarterback. Yeah, putting him. Putting him as the putting him in to play against the Dolphins was probably just a bad call, just in general. You know, they just probably should have stuck with Zach Wilson the whole time, and you know, let him flounder as much as possible. But like,
get his reps, it's just man. Like, yeah.
I think after Rodgers got hurt, there was he was just our only hope. So like you just let him play the rest of the season and he'll probably be done after the season.
Well, yeah. And that's, we were talking about the Giants a second ago. That's how kind of the Giants are with Tommy DeVito. No one thinks he's the future of the franchise. Everyone's just like, yeah, He's an Italian. A lot of us are Italians. He's from the Jersey. Let him play the football. And then the weekends, whatever. This team isn't going nowhere. Like that's just sort of the attitude when it comes to that. I think the Jets right now, they're 4-8. It really does suck because and it's gonna suck more for Jets fans like yourself if, let's say, Zach goes out and throws like 2 or 3 more really good games. Because you're going to be like, man, they were right there. It's very plausible that they only end up 1 to 2 wins out of that last wild card spot. It's if they go on a hot streak, and that's going to be the most frustrating thing. Is that the season started with high emotions, negative emotions, kind of okay emotions, then way down, and then hey, well, hold on, wait, maybe we're coming back up. Oh, right at the end again, which is a very. I feel like that particular description can just describe a lot of Jets seasons, but I feel like this year it's more amplified.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely more amplified because we had an amazing quarterback that got hurt within like 4 snaps and like had like out for the season. I mean, and it's just like this is gonna be. I mean, this is just gonna be up there with like the butt fumble in terms of just like the worst like possible Jet seasons ever. I didn't think it was gonna get worse than Rex Ryan and the butt fumble and his the tattoo of Mark Sanchez that he claimed that he got, and then the video of him and his wife's feet. Like, I mean, the Jets were just
that last part most of us can understand, but
yeah, the Jets were quite literally just like the team that got shit on, and quite literally the butt of every joke for
I see what you did there.
Season. For that whole season. I mean, it was just I'll never forget watching the Patriots Jets game on Thanksgiving, and thinking it was going to be kind of a close game, but thinking the Patriots were still going to win, but thinking it was going to be close, and just talking shit to my friends who were Patriots fans, and it was just like pick six, fumble, and then this was all like in like the first quarter. It was so bad that Fireman Ed left the game. That's how bad it was. Fireman Ed, just years of following this team, just decided to quit on this team immediately. And I'll never forget watching it at the bar where Mark Sanchez ran into the center, fumbled the ball, and some guy behind me just was like, "Wait, did he just run into the center's asshole?" He was like, "No, he did. He ran into the center's asshole." And then, we all got
yeah, it's amazing how much mileage that play has gotten in terms of just the joke value. It's been a literal decade. It's been a literal decade since that happened, and people still talk about how ridiculous it is.
I mean, it's kind of one of the funniest things though that's ever happened in sports. I also, I mean, this is a little off topic. Well, actually, we could segue into baseball, but like, of course, we've talked about it on the podcast before, in terms of just like watching it as a fight. But I still think Don's is, and people call me an asshole for this.
I'm talking about the Pedro thing.
I think Don Zimmerman getting thrown to the ground by Pedro Martinez is still one of the funniest things to ever happen in sports.
In like a mean-spirited way.
He was an old man, and it was like, well, that's what roly-poly, Jabba the Hutt looking Don Zimmerman gets for limping over to Pedro, thinking he's going to like take this,
Well, would have been actually funnier. I've thought about this because we've talked about it so many times. It would have been actually funnier if Don Zimmer could still somehow throw down, and he just grabbed Pedro and just gives him an elbow to the face and just starts jacking him on top of the pitcher's mound. That'd be hilarious because then everyone would be like, "Oh, he committed a hate crime." That would be how that would.
Well, yeah. I mean, that would have also been like that. Not only would have been funny, it would have been astounding to watch. Yeah. By the way, if that happened, good on Don Zimmer. I wasn't it's not that I hate Yankees fans. I know get so defensive when I talk about this fight and how entertaining it is.
No, I don't, because it's funny.
They think I'm doing it because as a Mets fan, I hate the Yankees. And I'm like, no, it's objectively funny that this angry old man ran into this brawl. The pitcher kind of sideswiped and just pushed him down, probably using like 10% of his actual strength to push them down. And then the next day, there's like a press conference of him, like basically like with like black eyes and
He,
like just
yeah,
like
he's
decrepit.
got like his
And it's like, well,
walker.
that's what you get, Don. That's what you get.
Right here. So yeah, let's talk about the Yankees. Let's talk a little bit of modern day Yankees, present day Yankees, if you will. The Yankees did make that huge trade this week. It's been covered by everybody, so I don't want to go into like the logistics of the trade. But the one thing I want to talk about here would be sort of the implications of what it means for the immediate present and also a year from now. So first of all, people who don't follow baseball as closely as I do or you do, people don't realize that this is the biggest trade the Yankees have made since A-Rod. This is a massive, massive trade for a generational talent. And this is going to be a lot of fun to watch because now you got Judge and you got him back to back. And don't sleep on that guy Verdugo that for some reason the Red Sox traded to the Yankees, who actually hits for average and contact, unlike the entire rest of the team, minus like one or two guys. So this is going to be really fun to watch because a lot of people who are East Coast baseball fans like myself and yourself, he was on the Nationals, which were kind of a smaller market team. Then he went west and played at 10 o'clock at night. No one really watched him that much, but you look at his numbers, man, they're rock freaking solid. And I'm definitely excited about this year as a Yankee fan. I think it's going to be awesome. The one thing I wanted to touch on, though, and I want your perspective on this because obviously you're a Mets fan. A lot of Mets fans, I've seen this attitude online on like, Instagram posts, and I've heard it a little bit on like, the fan on the radio, where I think a lot of Mets fans have this attitude of like, yeah, the Yankees going to enjoy him for 1 year, but then our boy Cohen's going to come in there and he's going to outbid, he's going to be on the Mets next year. Like that is the attitude I'm hearing from a lot of people. Which is funny because that doesn't always come true when the Mets think they're getting a player because they thought they were getting Ohtani. I thought they were getting a bunch of other players. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen at all. I think that if you look at Soto's Instagram, like an hour after he got traded to the Yankees, his whole thing was just about the Yankees. So I think he's all in too.
I mean, here's the thing. He's only got his contract's only 1 year. So if the Yankees are busted this year, he may want to leave. And Cohen is obviously one of the highest bidders. So it's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not impossible, but I think improbable.
I don't think it's as improbable as you think.
All right.
Unless he really, really just has like a hard on for like the Yankees, then he'll probably stay there. And they'll probably want to keep him too. And it would obviously be like a huge bidding war. And also with Ohtani too, it's like I think everyone knew he was going to the Dodgers. Like I don't know.
No,
I mean
I thought he was going to the Giants, and I said it on this show, and I have to eat my fucking words. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. I thought the Giants were going to make an insane desperation bid, and then the Dodgers came out and gave the craziest contract I've ever seen, like this backloaded deal for almost $1 billion with a B dollars. I thought the Giants were just gonna be like, hey, we need a superstar. We're not gonna be outbid. How much do you want? And back the literal truck of cash up. But they didn't. Dodgers got him. I was wrong. I was one of those people. I there to answer your question, Brian. It was me and a bunch of others. We were all wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like but everything I read, and listen, I'm not a sports analyst. I'm a dumb shithead that likes to watch.
That's what this show is.
That's what we all are. But everything I saw was just saying like he's going to the Dodgers. He's going to the Dodgers. He's going to the Dodgers. So when it happened, it was like the least surprise. I would be floored if he went to the Mets. I'd be more surprised if Ohtani went to the Mets than if Soto went to the Mets. I'll put it like that. That would be a lot more surprising. But yeah, I just the Dodgers are going to be great again next year, and we'll see. And the Mets will probably be terrible again, but at least hey, these shops will be fucking like Irish pubs, so that'll be fun.
That's going to be pretty. For those of you who don't know, Oh no, I want to get into that. You're right. No, Brian, no, you're right. I want to talk about that too. For those of you who've never been to Citi Field, who've never been to New York, the area surrounding Citi Field, particularly on the backside, the east side of it, could be best described as a third world country.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not exaggerating. I know it sounds hyperbolic, like I'm being a racist asshole or something. No, like that is actually what it looks like back there. It's insane. And yeah, so Steve Cohen bought it. He's gonna make it into a bunch of bars and hotels,
Oh,
and it's gonna be awesome.
oh yeah. There's some. I mean, there's some roads where you look down, like they look like the Gaza Strip. Like there's like
You're not wrong.
it's
You're
just
not wrong.
all junk, and it's just all yeah.
Dirt
It
roads, muddy, it's
yeah.
gross. No one, and like, no one's, it's all like people who are from, immigrants. So it's a lot of, it's like all non-white people. You actually feel like you're lost and you took a wrong turn and ended up not in America. It's the craziest thing. And then like 300 feet this way, there's like this $1 billion baseball stadium. It's so insane.
But yeah, but it's not even like that. So like, I mean, here's the thing: like, if Cohen does anything good, like it would be like making that area like pretty good in terms of like just like restaurants and like bars and everything like that. Because if we don't win a World Series, that's a more of a legacy. To just like have like the money like continue to come in than anything else. So
Well, no, and
yeah,
I want to hop on what you just said. Also, is that having a place to go drink is critical because I've been to more than half the ballparks in the league. I'm a pretty well traveled baseball guy. I'm making plans with my girlfriend to hit at least 2 more this coming year. The thing about Citi Field is it's one of the best parks as just the stadium itself. The thing is that nowadays it's not about just the park; it's about what they call the village around it. Like Atlanta does a good job of this. A couple other, Colorado is pretty decent too, where you can walk around on the streets that are around it, and there's all these shops and restaurants and all kinds of stuff. Whereas if you go to Citi Field, it is just a parking lot. It's the parking lot and the 7 train. And so I think
yeah.
that's something that Mets fans deserve. They deserve to have a place they can go and be alcoholics before and after the game.
Yeah.
That's the least Steve Cohen can do for you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. The Mets fans deserve another place to destroy their liver
You're
at
damn
an
right.
overpriced
Speaking of
amount.
destroying livers, guess what? We have somebody here who does not destroy his liver at all. Hello,
Not
Mike.
me. Not me.
That's right.
Hi, I'm
But
here.
if he does, it's with High C and Sunny D. There we go.
Ecto cooler.
Welcome. That's right, the Ecto Cooler. So we were just talking about, let's see, what did we not touch on yet? Oh yeah, Mike. You know what? We're just gonna hop right to the next thing. You have a very strong opinion about how stupid you think the NBA in-season tournament is.
Oh yeah, it's beyond stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody can figure out what it means. The problem is that they've already had the championship game, and it's December 11th now, and like this is supposed to have playoff implications, and now like what if the Lakers suck for the rest of the year? Like how does this? I don't
Did they
understand
win?
how this
I,
works.
I didn't even see what happened. I've been so busy with like holiday shopping and all this other stuff that I haven't even kept tabs on it.
You're better off because the Lakers won the in-season tournament, and
Good for them.
and it has playoff implications. But like I don't understand, like I said, what happens if
So other than the pot of cash, is there anything they get? Do they get like an advanced seed in the actual playoffs? Or like what? I don't understand it. I've had hardcore basketball fans try to explain it to me, and not even they could explain it because most of them are just like, yeah, I don't know. They just want to make more money early in the season.
It's something like something with the playoffs, and they get extra cash for hookers, something like that. So I don't understand.
Okay. Well, the thing is, we as fans,
I
we
don't
should
know.
be able to watch them buying those hookers. I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
that's the
Stream
least
it on
the league can do for us.
stream it on
Okay.
Pornhub or something.
I
don't know.
want to watch LeBron go do a line off of some Hispanic strippers
Do a line of
but
Rogaine.
after the game somewhere in East LA. I want to see the live stream of that. Okay, damn it.
It doesn't make any sense. No, they've had videos explaining the tournament, and you still don't know what it means. Like I don't know. It's over already. Like I thought it was going to go throughout the season, a couple games a month to keep people interested. It's over. Now people have. It's the regular season for the rest of the season. So what was all the? It's like if they played the WBC in April and it ended May 1st. And it's like, why did we even bother doing that?
Yeah, it's very weird. I don't understand. So it's like we have a tournament champion, but we're also going to have a champion later. Like, what the fuck's the point in that? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I can't, like, I'm at a loss for words because nobody understands it. It was a waste of everybody's time. I mean, I think they do get extra money, to be honest with you, but like, I don't.
No, I know that part. Yeah.
I don't understand what the point of it was. It's over already. The in-season tournament, like in-season, first it's not even in-season. The in-season would be like in the middle of the year. It was like beginning of the season tournament. And that's it.
You know, I guess they were just trying to sell more tickets for early season games. They don't want people like me and you, Mike, being able to get last-minute Knicks tickets for less than $300. I think it's a conspiracy.
We had a good time, though. We had a good time.
We had a damn good time sitting at the very last row of the entire arena at the top. No, I don't really understand what the benefit is. I don't get it. That being said, let's talk about the Knicks for just a second, Mike.
Let's talk about them.
Like the Knicks are to basketball what my penis is going to be in about 3 or 4 years. In that, you know, it's there. Probably it's it's there. It gets hard. It stays in the game for most of the time. It can't quite finish the job at the end. And I feel like that right there is what the Knicks are. Because I've watched a good amount of Knicks games this year. And
there's like 8 jokes we could think about. We could go comparing your penis to
this.
Knicks.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome to say that.
Tiny, weak, incompatible,
black. That's
that.
Well, the thing is, like, it's they're in every fucking game. Like, they're in the game, but they always make like 1 or 2 bad plays in the last quarter and lose by, either 6 or 8 or 10. But it's frustrating because they're like right there. Like they can hang with the best teams in the league. They're missing that last piece, that last something, and it's frustrating. It really is.
It's the same story to the 90s Knicks, that 90s dynasty, if you want to call it that. They just needed one more piece to beat the Bulls. Probably they needed one more star, you would think, and they never. Like, their second best player was John Starks, who's a New York legend, but he's not a Hall of Famer. Oakley's not a Hall of Famer. We love them. They're legends.
He is in my heart. Okay,
right.
Especially
but that's
when we make those T-shirts.
But the Bulls had Rodman. They had Pippen. They had. They had a lot of guys who weren't. Like, Horace Grant was good, and Steve Kerr, and they had Paxson. But the Knicks just needed one more guy. They would get Derek Harper and Xavier McDaniel. I have cat hair in my mouth, and it was just never enough. Sorry, it's just floating around. And Biggie kidnapped Anthony Mason's, tied up Anthony Mason, wrote a song about it, and that's right, Brian. You talked about it on the show. So, like,
yes,
that's all we got.
I got a story to tell.
Yeah. We needed one more guy.
Also, I wanted to share this. I'm a Nets fan, and by the way, like, the Knicks and the Nets, it seems like they're like fighting for the middle right now.
Yeah, they're mid. They're total mid.
Like, both, yeah.
Yeah.
Knicks are 13-9, Nets are 12-9. So they're fighting for the mediocre championship. But what I was going to say was, I am a Nets fan, huge Nets fan, lifelong Nets fan, because I'm from New Jersey. But I bought a Knicks jersey, and this is the only Knicks jersey that I'll buy and wear. I bought a Charles Oakley jersey recently. Just because, and I'd like to do an episode about this, but I always have thought it was hilarious when Charles Oakley choked out a bunch of security guards after James Dolan tried to. It's not even like he was a decent player in the 90s. Like, a lot of people liked him. But famously too, the only person that like Jordan actually like was like friendly to and nice to for like whatever reason. But yeah, no, I will always respect Charles Oakley for choking at a security guard when James Dolan tried to kick him out of Madison Square Garden. So that is so.
Absolutely.
And I may go to a Knicks game this season, so I will definitely wear my Charles Oakley. But that's the only time I'll wear it. That's the only time I'll wear it. And I'll wear it to other events. But I
want to say to you that's the second time in this episode that Brian's like, hey, you know what I really liked? This time that somebody got violent.
Yeah,
That just seems to be the MO over here with Brian. So speaking of violence, do we have a fight queued up, Mike?
Yeah, we have a fight. So I can let you pick. We can pick either a soccer match or we can pick a baseball fight. What would you guys rather see? Soccer or baseball? Maybe baseball because Ohtani's popular right now. I don't know.
Yeah, we can go baseball. We can do soccer a different week. That's fine. I mean, let's go baseball because I'm pumped because the Yanks got Soto too, which we already talked about.
All right. So,
cue up, Mike. What do we got? What do we bring us through?
So it's short, which is good because we don't have a lot of time tonight, but it's a good one. This is from this year, I believe. It's a minor league fight, and
sometimes the best.
Let's take a look at this here. So turn the volume off. So North Central versus Weatherford.
Okay.
Guy hits a home run, right? Awesome. No big deal. Everything's calm and cool around in the bases.
North Central versus Weatherford sounds like the name of two different penitentiaries. Playing
now look at oh, the pitcher charged the guy who hit the home run and just lit him up.
It's normally the other way around. Normally the mound gets charged. Okay, I like this.
I didn't see anything that would prompt such a violent outburst from the pitcher, and that's really all there is to it. I've never seen anything like this before.
He just got jacked for a 2-run home run. It looks like.
Is this a minor league game or like a high school game?
It might be a high school game. You might be right. It's a high school game. I thought it was minor league.
Penitentiaries, guys.
It could be.
If it was minor league, that would be funnier. Just like a bunch of people that like want to get into the MLB so badly but can't.
They just take it out on each other.
Just loses his shit.
But I don't see anything like look at the guy who's throwing around in the bases. Like the umpire's pointing at him. He slaps 5 and boom!
That helmet went flying.
It went a good 20 feet.
Wait, I want to see it one more time.
That got some
boom. Laid him out.
There had to be talk because look how quick his team got on the field. They were like right behind him. Look, boom.
I still want to find out if this is minor league or high school because this does scream like pent up hormones. So like it could just be like I didn't get laid, and now I got a home run. Like it's just like that is very much of the scenario that could have happened. You know, he was probably. He's probably promised a hand job like under the bleachers and he didn't have one. Yeah. So now he's just losing his mind. But
turned down for the
same
prom.
Time,
or maybe that guy.
If this is grown men, that would be 10 times funnier.
Yeah. What would prompt you? It has to be kids because that's like something you pull in gym class. You know, like
yeah.
We've seen pros go crazy, but that was like he spears them. You know, like this is you can't even tackle people in the NFL like this. That's how bad this was. Look at
that was a pretty that tackle was pretty good. He seems like a dual sport athlete, like a guy who's played a little football too with that tackle. That was pretty good.
A little cross check there, a little hockey.
Yeah. I mean, if these are high school kids, it would be funny if like the reason he tackled him had nothing to do with the game. Like it turns out that player was like liking all his like girlfriend's posts on Instagram or something.
Right.
And he's like, I'm gonna kick this fucking guy's ass. And then he hits a home run off him and he gets super pissed anyway.
Maybe it's like Zach Wilson. He slept with that kid's mom or something like that.
That would be the drama of that.
That's a screenplay I'm going to write, damn it.
And then he hits a home run, and then he just points to the mom in the stands, and he's just like,
Mrs. Smith, all right. Mrs. Johnson.
Oh, man.
He's like, but your dad can't do this, too. And then he hits a home run. He's like, that's 2 things your dad can't do.
Scored off of you and your mom.
Yeah. And then it turns out his dad's dead, and it just gets sadder, but also
it just gets worse.
All right. So as far as the rating goes, I can't give it a super high rating because it was so short. But I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because I mean that was a hilarious tackle with the helmet flying. The fact that it probably was like 2 15 or 16-year-olds, pretty funny. 7.5. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't much of a fight. I mean, short. The hit was like a 10, but like overall, you got to lower it because it wasn't much of a brawl. So yeah, I'd say like 6. Yeah, something like that.
Right, what do you got, Brian?
Yeah, I'll meet halfway and say 7.
Yeah.
All right.
the hit was like we all agree the hit was definitely 10.
Right.
But I think part of the rating is we want to see crazy hits like in like these, and we want to see them extend, and we also want to see like multiple players involved. This just seems like one amazing flawless hit of just one dude that just had a very, very bad day, either a high schooler with like just a bunch of pent up energy, or a guy who just realized he's never getting into major leagues ever, and that his kids will probably never call him again because he's behind on child support. So yeah, so it's either one of those. It's either one of those two things. It's either a pent-up high schooler or a very sad man. Either way though, it's a flawless hit, but because it just happened so quick, I'll give it. I almost want to give it an 8, because
go for it.
So good. You know what? Maybe I'll just. You know what? I will round it up to an 8. And like we said, like we do usually want to have the criteria of, like multiple hits, multiple players involved, like
no, I want to see. If this is high school, the reason why I can't get over a 7.5 is because if this was high school, I want to see like that kid's mom come on the field and start pointing at him and going full Karen. That's what I want to see. I want to see the
and then the parents fighting. Oh my god!
No, I want to see.
That would have been
like
a 10,
whatever the equivalent of Randy Marsh this coming out. Like some guy rips his shirt off and like has like American flag tattoo and just starts beating on the other kid's dad. Like that would be a 10. But this is only a 7.5.
Randy Marsh.
Hell yeah. All right. I think that's enough of that. Moving along, Mike, take us home. We have a commercial. We've been doing commercials on this show recently. What do we got here?
All right. So we have, this is one you picked out. Perfect for the holidays. We got Joe DiMaggio from Mr. Coffee. And it's Christmas time. I was going to suggest this to you, actually. I'm so glad we're doing this one. Hell yeah. So let's take a look here.
Special people on your gift list. Giving Mr. Coffee is the delicious way to say Merry Christmas.
Coffee.
Everyone would love to have Mr. Coffee. It's America's #1 coffee maker. Mr. Coffee with Coffee Saver brews delicious coffee fast, and it saves coffee too. When you give Mr. Coffee for Christmas, every delicious cup will be a reminder of your thoughtfulness for years to come. This Christmas, give Mr. Coffee.
I don't know who that is.
Who are these two people?
This looks
probably
like
the next commercial.
It was ripped from a VHS probably, and
somebody's
so
family.
this is just somebody had this up. I don't know what's the name of it. I ripped this on some channel. I forgot who it was. I do want to credit them. We'll put it in the description. I forgot what it was, but this is just somebody else on YouTube who had this up. Like I said, we'll find a way to put the at least the name of the channel on there. But this right here. This is very wholesome. It's very wholesome and adorable. Back in the day when pro athletes had to do endorsements because they weren't getting paid shit to play actual sports.
He had Marilyn Monroe whacked, but he didn't get any of the money for it. So
exactly. Play it again. How many times does he say the word coffee in this ad?
Yeah. For the special people on your gift list, giving Mr. Coffee is the delicious way to say Merry Christmas. Everyone would love to have Mr. Coffee. It's America's #1 coffee maker. Mr. Coffee with Coffee Saver brews delicious coffee fast, and it saves coffee too. When you give Mr. Coffee for Christmas, every delicious cup will be a reminder of your thoughtfulness for years to come. This Christmas, give Mr. Coffee.
He says the word coffee 9 times in under 30 seconds. That's incredible.
And then at the end, he goes, fuck Mickey Mantle.
That one sip, too, that he took was so sad. He probably just had, like, putting... he probably just had to keep putting, like, liquor into his coffee, like, in between takes and everything to get through it.
I like this part here where the fire's burning under his armpit, like it's a right guard commercial. It's
we've got a bunch more right guard commercials coming up too in future weeks in the show. Because if you thought Charles Barkley was the only one, no, fellas. No, I like this though. This is fun because it like Mike said, it's for the holidays. It's very wholesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very wholesome, nice ad. It's just a nice man. Just
Just
you should
a
buy
nice
some
man.
coffee maker. You know,
Joe DiMaggio's a handsome man, right? What is that, the Seinfeld thing?
well, very I would say classically, especially from that era. He like his look speaks to that era very well too.
With the hair part, yeah, he looks
with
like
the unbuttoned sweater with the flannel under it, which is not a look you see that much anymore. No, I like this. This is a lot of fun, man.
I will say no shade to Joe DiMaggio, but like back in the day, the Kennedy brothers were definitely better looking. I definitely see why Maryland jumped ship. I definitely get why Maryland jumped ship and wanted a tag team with the Kennedys real quick. Sorry, Joe. Sorry,
Who's
Joe.
better, Zach Wilson or Joe DiMaggio in his prime?
Like,
who's better? Oh, right now, Zach Wilson or Joe DiMaggio?
Well, right now, Zach Wilson. Yeah, Joe DiMaggio's dead.
Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson is the only reason he's not a full-on twink is because he plays in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like he's of that age.
Joe DiMaggio, he was at a time where like men. You know, like he's got like the fucking like ugly eyebrows and everything like that.
Right.
Like,
smoke cigarettes in the on deck circle.
Definitely. But
I like the music.
Here he looks distinguished.
Right.
He looks very distinguished here, and he looks like just like very much one notch under the most interesting man in the world. You know, in terms of just,
no
like,
beard, but
old man. You know,
So he also. When they zoom in on him, it almost looks as if, like, you know, when he says you should buy this, as if like he's personally going to be disappointed in you if you don't buy the Mr. Coffee.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, look at that right there.
Yeah, right there. If you don't buy this, he's just going to look at you like this until April and baseball season starts. That's it. Right there.
Yeah, I like the music. It's like a nice Paul Simon song in the background. Where'd you go, Joe DiMaggio?
It's your gift list. Giving Mr. Coffee is the delicious way to say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. He came out of that. He came out of the chimney. That's how he got into the living room. He came down the chimney and poured himself some coffee.
Well, I mean, baseball players back then did have to work in the off season. Maybe he was Santa Claus back in the day.
I think so. I think he was
Santa Claus. All right, that's
Santa Joe.
That's the end of.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
Joe, pour yourself a cup of Joe DiMaggio. That's probably why they picked him.
We need that, Mike.
Really,
we should have had the show right there.
That was a good show. I missed the beginning. Sorry, I was doing open mics, looking at weirdos.
That's right. We talked about sports and
keep
stuff
hitting
like
those
that.
mics.
Oh yeah. Tonight was a doozy. I'll tell you after the show. Yeah.
Which is ending right now.
All right. Thanks, guys.